that will truly enhance our teaching and research journey. Today, we are honored to have with us Dr. Thirumalai Ram as our distinguished guest. Dr. Thirumalai Ram is currently in charge of research and also serves as the head of the Department of Aeronautical Engineering at Hindustan College of Technology. He is a renowned academician and researcher known for his significant contributions in the field of research. He has been actively involved in guiding research scholars, publishing quality research papers, and delivering expert talks at various national and international forums. We are truly privileged to have him with us today to share his expertise and inspire us with his insights. On behalf of the Think Scholar Publishing and Asian College of Engineering and Technology, I welcome him and I also welcome all the participants, faculties today who came here to this virtual session. Now I would like to handle this session Dr. Thirumalai sir to take over the session. Sir, please.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. You can switch on the video, sir.
Yes. 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 Good evening.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. Tell me, please.
Yes. Can you please go to the slides? So myself, I'm Thirumalai. So
Open
I
the
would like to thank Dr. I would like to thank Dr. S. Jay Sribadi from Think Scholar Publishing and Dr. Ishwaramurthy, Principal of Asian College of Engineering and Technology, Coimbatore, for providing 1 week faculty development program, virtual FDP, for the benefit of the students and academic community. So hopefully, I think today is the last date of this FDP. So today's my session. Can anyone share the slides?
Srinivasan, sir. You can open the PPT.
You open the PPT. It is not visible.
But it is not visible.
It is not visible. It is.
No?
Yes. Yes. Now it is visible.
Yeah, now it is visible.
Yes. So today's my topic is on AI tools in effective technical writing for successful publications. Yes, next slide. So here we could see there are several engineering elements domains are given here. So in several of these domains, several engineering features are available where the recent technologies were being incorporated. So the first one, when we could see, it is the CMM machine, which is very advanced features for an mechanical engineering, and then comes aerospace engineering, where different materials which is used for aerospace engineering can be able to collaborate it here. And then comes the recent field of artificial intelligence and data science, where human thinking has been completely it has been given with AI techniques. So where research is also now it is incorporating AI techniques in several fields of research. And then comes semiconductors, so which is an emerging field in electronics and communication engineering. And then we have IT, information technologies, and the management techniques for stock markets. All these things we could have seen all these things. Next slide. Next slide. Yes, we can able to find the non-engineering elements. We have to travel parallelly whether we are moving along with engineering elements. So these are some elements which we can able to identify very easily. We could see we are having many here. where each and every citizen of India nowadays they are moving into all these kinds of market analysis. Apart from that, we have our cinemas also, where the features, those who are in the cinema fields, they are having higher amount of technologies are also being incorporated. And then our cricket fans, just next slide. Yes, yes, next slide please. Can you change the next slide? Yes, these are the several research domains where we have. So all these domains is incorporates artificial intelligence techniques. We have computer science engineering, we have information technology, we have mechanical engineering, aeronautics, applied sciences, electronics and communication engineering. So in all these cases, we have a certain amount of research has been going on. So this research in the older days, actually they will be referring to several journals which will be available in libraries. And nowadays no one is going for any reference to the libraries in volume level. Everyone is switching over to internets for searching what kind of journals are available, how they can able to reproduce their manuscript. And even nowadays we have these technologies that have been completely dominated by chat gpt. So when I type something in chat gpt, when I take a paper, when I find some results over there, when I just type some data in this result to find out how these are arrived, I can easily get up the answers with chat gpt, which is an advanced feature of AI. Yes, next slide. Yes, this is simply I have given you where some people they will do research without any interest, out of compulsion they will be doing it here. When I ask you to say prove that papa is equal to mama, it is very simple. An art student will say it is out of course. A commerce student will say it is a wrong question. A medical student will say it is impossible. Whereas engineering students work it out. They say force is equal to ma, force is equal to mass into acceleration. And also they say pressure is equal to force by area. So F is equal to ma. When they put pressure is equal to force by area, it becomes Pa is equal to ma. So Papa becomes Mama is the correct answer logically, but this cannot be done. That's next slide. So these are the extraordinary researchers where some people they do not have any talents. They do not have any attitude towards research. They need only degree. They need some papers to be published to have their performance appraisals for every year. At the end of the year, they have to submit 2 papers for their institutes, for their organizations. At the end of the second year, again, the next year, they will work out for the next 2 papers. They will just go aside. So this is how the extraordinary researchers will perform. At the beginning level, they will be very, very dull in nature. But at the end of the year, somehow they will manage. Either they can pay something, they can get some papers to be published. But all these things will never help you when you go your career for a longer run. Next slide. Yes, here we can say which part is most important in doing a healthy research, is whether it's an ethical research or a healthy research. So we should easily say that no, both is important. Doing an ethical research is also important. Doing a healthy research is also most important when compared to doing a research without knowing what is there. In some cases, what people will do, they will get a paper, they will ask them some members to add their name, they will contribute some amount to be paid for the journals, and then they will be just moving it away. But doing this kind of categories will, as teaching career, this will not help us in a very longer run. Next slide please. So in doing a research, so what is the most important is to find out a correct supervisor. If I find out a correct guideship, always when we are finding out a supervisor, it is very simple that we are listening to your wife. So it is like reading a terms and conditions of a website. We never understand anything, but we will say always, I agree. Yes, next slide. So research writing is simply, it is an art. Yes, next cycle. Yes, next slide. So we can able to find research can be categorized into two different categories of research. One is qualitative research, other one is quantitative research. When I say qualitative research, it is nothing but it is gathering of non-numerical data. So we are going to focus only on some philosophical terms, some things which cannot be made in numbers. We are going to focus only on those data, and then we are going to do up a research. The best example is what will be the perception of students entering the college in the first year. So when I cannot say anything. When student is entering into the college for the first year, definitely only after 1 year or 2 years I can say whether this group will go for a better higher studies, better career options. We can do all these things, but we cannot go for a perception of students at the first instance itself when they are coming into the first year. And then comes the quantitative research. Definitely all the experimental data, we will do some experiments, we will collect the data, we will analyze, we will interpret these data, and we will come for some conclusions by performing statistical, mathematical, and computational techniques. We will use software or any other mathematical techniques. We will be using it here to do your research. So this is what we can able to say the quantitative research. The best example I have given here is when I want to investigate a cutting force to machine a material, it is called as a quantitative research. Yes, next slide. So here we can say where which components I can do for a research, which components I cannot do for a research. For example, I cannot do a research to say whether I should put my youngster in a preschool. This cannot be research. I have to do a education, given education to my children. I can research. What I can research here is whether I can, which school I can able to drop him for, so that I can see that the children can have better social skills and other skills can be developed. And I cannot research what is the best way to learn to read. This cannot be research. I can research what is the better age so that the children can able to be introduced to phonics whether in the age of 5 or 6 or 7. That can be done, but I cannot go for a research whether my children is to be educated. That I cannot do. I cannot go for researching whether some people are born bad. No, always some people commits crimes, poor people or rich people. I can do this research which category of people will commit more amount of crime, whether poor or rich. Yes, next slide. So here, whenever I'm speaking about research, so nowadays more amount of artificial intelligence are coming inside. So what people will do, they will never focus on only one paper. What they will do is they will just take some 100 amount of papers. They will just check each and every paper for not more than 30 seconds. They will just remove that paper, go for the next paper. Like this, some 100 papers they will find out. After that, finally, when we see, they would have not earned any amount of technical skills or anything from the journal papers. Simply, they will just focus on all these 100 papers, and I will say, I want to do the work on my research skills. I need to improve my research. This cannot happen. Next slide. A good researcher, what he should do, he should be always calm, and he should formulate the research question. What is the focus? What is his area? What he should do? Which technology he should focus? Which software he should focus? Only then he can able to go very fastly in the research. Next slide. So when we speak about the technical writing, so in most of the cases, we have several AI tools are available. Magma tool is there, Prisma one tool is there. All these tools are AI tools where we have these tools. You have to focus with fundamental knowledge what you have. So there are some tools, some institutes they are following. I will just tell you one thing. If you want to write a paper, for example, this crowd, how many members are from engineering? Yes, few members are participating. So some may be from engineering. So if you want to write a paper in engineering, whether it is civil engineering or math or mechanical or whatever it may be, you have selected a paper. Now what you should do is you are going to find out some 5 or 6 topics in this paper, collect all these papers. There is a AI tools, several AI tools are available. You just take Magma. So if you take the Magma tools, what you should do is you have to incorporate, should do upload all the tools, all the papers in this AI technology tool, and the AI will read all these papers in a fraction of a second. And if you want to write a new paper combining all these 5 papers, that can be done. That can be done. Very simply, it can be done. But the thing is, when the papers were been uploaded in Springer or in elsewhere or in Sage publications, whatever it may be, Taylor and Francis, they have a plagiarism tool, AI plagiarism tool. Initially, when you upload the papers in the software, in the journal, the plagiarism result will come as 100%. Because whatever the plagiarism tool you have used here will directly link to all journals. We do not know whether which journal it has been linked or not. That will not we cannot find it out. But they have an ethical policy. All journals will have an ethical policy. They would have tied up with an all artificial intelligence softwares. Immediately you could see that the paper have 100% plagiarism in AI. That is what is given here. So technical writing, we should write a paper on our own itself. Yes, next slide. So in this case, we can able to find, we should write the title, abstract, objective are more necessary, and we should think for the experimental design, and then the results simulation softwares what are I'm going to use. I should find out whether there are any societal needs are there. References are very important. All these things are very needed for writing a technical paper. The next slide. So whenever I'm going for choosing a title, so I should the title should always focus on these areas where we are working, which problem we are going to solve, our achievements and the methodology. I will show you a sample in the next slide. Yes, next slide, please. So here we can able to find out the sample titles. So in this title, I have given you a modeling and analysis for surface roughness in machining glass fiber reinforced plastics using response surface methodology. Complete paper is given in this title. We are going to use glass fiber reinforced plastics. With this, what we are going to use, we are going to machining glass fiber. After machining, what we are going to find out, we are going to find out the surface roughness. How we are analyzing this? We are modeling this. By which technology? By using response surface methodology. So complete paper is given inside. Next slide. Like this, we should have a title. And whenever I'm speaking about writing an abstract, only the editors will speak about the abstract, how we are going to write. The abstract will always elaborate on the items by the titles only. What are the title I'm going to give it over there? That is to be described in the abstract. Again, the painting completely it is to be available in the abstract. I'll show you a model abstract in the next slide. So here we can to see a model abstract here where the title is modeling and analysis of surface roughness in machining reinforced plastics using response surface methodology. we can see these areas have been covered. Area of proposed work, technical details. So nowadays, glass fiber reinforced glass fiber composite materials are a feasible alternative to engineering methods. They have excellent properties under being extensively used in variety of engineering applications. So this is what is my area. So my area speaks about glass fiber reinforced composite materials, and we are going to define that the users of fiber reinforced plastics are facing difficulties to machine. So I'm going for machining this material because of its anisotropic properties. And which methodology I'm going to use here, I'm just giving here in this methodology. In this work, we are going to model the surface roughness through response surface methodology. And which investigation I'm going to do here, I'm going to go for a 4 factors 5 level central composite rotatable design matrix is employed to carry out the experimental investigation. This is how the abstract should be written. And finally, the result should be highlighted. So we are going for ANAVA to check the validity of the model for finding the significant parameters using t-test, and an analysis of the influences of entire individual input machining parameters on the responses has been carried out. This is how we have to present it and present it in the study. This is how abstract should look like. Next slide. So in this case, we can able to find there are certain successful writing tips are available. So the journal editors will find out what is the motivation factor and scope of the research which is given here, and in what way you have attempted to solve the problem of this research, and the critical reviews, what is the weakness of this existing solutions were been addressed, they will find out, and then they will check the methodologies and keywords which is happening in your manuscript. Next slide. And whenever we are choosing our manuscripts for writing a paper, the artificial intelligence actually will check for all these things. When you write up a paper in artificial intelligence, initially it will not directly write the paper. They will ask you several questions before writing a paper. They will ask how far the current trends are available. What are the limitations of the paper, which is restrictions, which are the presently available, and what are the recent publications and future plans are also will be required. And who is the end users of reading your paper? Decision makers. And what review process I have to follow, whether it's a blind review, single review, two review, all these things we have to answer in AI technologies. And what is the deadline for submissions? How many hours it will take? All these things we have to take. How long the process will take, and how we have to approach to the journal offices, and all these things we can able to find it from the journal websites and also from the AI tool technologies. Will ask all these questions before proceeding. Next slide. Yes. Before we start, always the publishers, what they will think is they will just think of whether I have my potential investors, I have my technical knowledge which has been incorporated in my paper, whether I have whether I am enthusiastic about my research work. Why the journal editor should give you an acceptance? In that way, the journal editors will just check you. And always we should remember that we are not begging, we are selecting the journals from the publishers to make ourselves to sell to the journals. That is what important. Very easily we can publish our papers. Next slide. So in this case, we can able to find in technical writing, I will find that my paper will be read by 2 experts. So all the experts, they will just find out what is the benefit they can able to get from the papers, from the panel, the judgment panel. So always the first page, the abstract should speak about the standalone summary of the complete paper. And objective should be very clear, outcome should be very clear, and it is in well formulated methodologies papers we should go. And if it is a research problem, I should know which application, which software I am going to use it here, and how the results are useful for the societal needs is also very important. Yes, next slide. So whatever we have seen now so far is the abstract and introduction part. Then comes the literature review. So I should have a very good literature review. The literature review should be highly, it should have a synthesis of available research. It should evaluate what is happening in the current trends. It should go for depth research. It should have a higher amount of clarity, and they should be consistent. Whereas some literature review we would have seen in journal papers where it is an annotation of bibliography. Simply they would define which papers they have seen. They will be very confined, narrow, and shallow, and it confuses for the readers which literatures they have revised. They have seen all in their papers, and also the poor literatures will just make an arbitrary way, and it is annotated, constructed in such a way that you do not define any focus on depth of the research. Yes, next slide. Then comes the introduction part. Again, we have seen all these things. We should have a scope, motivation factor, problem statement. Review should be very critical, and my results, finding and achievements, and I should have a very brief methodology. Yes, next slide. Then comes how the paper should look like. So the paper should have theory, methodology, experimental design. Only this is what most of the journal papers they will just find it out. Only 5 areas you should have. Theory is the introduction part. In this introduction part, you should write about the principle of theory, what about your research work, methodology, and then that is methodology means how you are going to do this research, what experimental designs you are going to do. Then comes your simulation, that is your software or any technologies you are going to use in your research. After doing all these things, you will be getting some results that is to be discussed. That is what discussion speaks about. Result is different, discussion is different. Results is whatever results can be given here, but how we are going to discuss is the main part. And finally, you should summarize all your conclusions. That is what given in the next slide. We can able to find out the diagram. This next slide shows you the main body and then how the body of a paper will be looking like. Next slide, please. Yes, this is what we have seen it. Next slide, please. We can able to find these are the research findings. Definitely, whenever you go for a research, these kind of pictorial notations are very, very essential. Without all these notations, no journal editor will accept your papers. There should be an table. There should be a bar chart. There should be a pie chart. Your software, any findings from your software, graphs, all these things should be there in the research findings. Next slide. How to write your concluding research. So when I make my conclusion, I should make a very brief summary of the paper's main points. I should reiterate the methodology and experimental design. I should summarize the highlights of the findings. I should validate and I should enhance the future scope of the present work. This is how the conclusion will conclude your papers. Next slide. So here we can able to find out the references. Definitely, there should be not more than 20 to 25 references for your paper. So these references are to be quoted in your papers in a correct positions and also in introduction and also in resultant discussion part. And which journal you are going to submit, that journal should be also referred for similar category of papers, at least 4 papers from that journal. And they should always follow several reference formatting. We have APA style, we have Vancouver style. All these styles are available. So depending on the journal, which style they will be giving it to you in your journal web page. Based on that, we have to go for referencing, and then recent publications are also to be included. Yes, next slide. Then comes whenever you are submitting a paper, the authorship should be defined very clearly. So the authors are the owners of the paper. So even some third member or any consultant, they will be helping you in writing the research and publishing your papers. But ownership you should have. You should not give the ownership to any of the members. That is most important. So authors will contribute to the intellectual properties and knowledge contained in the papers. So any references are to be cited only to the authors and not to the consultants. And the author's name should be appearing in the first, and then finally the other co-authors are to be added. And always remember, whenever you are publishing a paper, when you publish with more than 5 authors, it seems to be completely void. That is, I say that paper will be not considered in any of the higher education organizations. You may be working in a very simple college now, but definitely at one period of time, because of your intelligence and knowledge, when you are searching for higher education, higher colleges, for example, it may be Bharatiyar University, it may be Karunya University, so a bigger colleges. So when you apply for these bigger colleges, if for example, if you are called for an interview, they will check your papers. If you are having 5 authors and more, the paper will be not considered for any evaluation. The paper will be discarded. So always see that only 5 authors are the most maximum number of authors you can able to do. Next slide, please. And then comes the act of plagiarism. So generally, whenever you're going for a technical content, 25% of plagiarism is always permitted. In artificial intelligence contents, 30% is also permitted. In some cases, what the people will do, they will publish the papers with higher amount of plagiarism, AI plagiarism. We have turned it in. We have malware. All these things we have. Urkund we have. Urkund report have. So when you take all these are AI tools only, AI tools what they will do, they will calculate the percentage of some copy, how much you have copied directly from other journals. If the percentage is more than 35 or 40, the authors will reciprocate that your papers are not accepted because of plagiarism. But indirectly, your name will be blacklisted. Remember, I'm repeating it again. Your name will be blacklisted in the journal list. Wherever you publish your paper will never publish for the next period of 5 or 3 years, because your name is blacklisted, that you are a member who is have higher amount of plagiarism. You do not know how to write a research paper. அதுக்கப்புறம் நீங்க எத்தனை பேப்பர் நீங்க போட்டாலுமே பேப்பர் அக்செப்ட் ஆகாது. That is what the people will do. And then next slide, please. So here we have yes, concluding remarks. After all these plagiarism checks and all, finally you should check in your remarks. Your conclusion should say about materials, hypothesis, concluding statements, and what procedure you have incorporated in doing the research. So next slide. So myself, I have a few amount of experience in handling several volumes. Next slide. So this is what I have handled an Elsevier edition. You can able to see my name is there. Preface of International Conference on Design, Manufacturing, Materials, Engineering, ICD, MME 2021, 10 to 11 March 22. Thirumalai Ramanathan is a guest editor. Along with me, there is one more member, that is S. Nandakumar, who is my guest editor. So we have handled across 297 papers. You remember, in this success ratio, the papers which I have accepted is only 48.97%. That is only across 180 papers to 190 papers only we have 140 to 150 papers only we have accepted, and remaining papers we have not accepted because of plagiarism, because of now there is no scope, because of poor research. All these things. Next slide. And also I have handled the editor as an editor for IOP Physics, Journal of Physics. We can able to find out, you can able to see volume number 2272, International Conference on Design, Manufacturing, Materials, ICD, MMA 2021, 10 to 11th March. So I have handled this volume completely, which is from IOP, Institute of Physics from UK. So this is a very high prestigious volume, you can able to find out. Type of peer review is double anonymous. What I have done, this is all these things I have done. Conference submission, I have selected Mauritius is the platform, and I have received 166 papers, and number of submissions sent for review is only 94. I will not send all the papers for review. What I will do is, I will scrutiny myself. Whichever paper is not found correct, immediately I will reject as an editor. Only papers which will come from me will be sent for the review. So in this case, it is only 94. And in this 94, only 32 is accepted. Number of submission accepted is only 32. So my success rate is 19.3% only, because this journal is very, very tougher journal, having very higher amount of scope. It is only 19.3%, and the average number of reviews per paper is 2. 2 reviews I have done. And all these things we can able to, and contact persons, you can see this is my, you can see all these things in website also. When you check this 2272, my name will come there. Yes, next one. Next slide. This is one more volume I have handled in Transtech Publishers, which is from Transtech Publishers. International Conference on Design Materials and Meta-Heuristic Algorithms for Engineering. So I have given it this for computer science candidates. So we have handled only 43 papers, because the number of papers what we have given for this volume is only 60 papers we have given. Not more than that we could collect. So out of the 60 papers, we have received only 43, because the time is very short. We have received only 43. And in this 43 papers, I have accepted only 27% of papers only accepted. So you just remember, you just check here, only 12 papers to 15 papers, 12 to 15 papers only accepted out of 43. So always keep in mind, whenever I submit a paper, it is not so that all papers should be published. No, you just check here only 27%. The previous IOP it is only 19%. Elsewhere it is only 47%. So collectively, when we see, it is only 30% of acceptance is required. So now we have to think one thing. So wherever I submit, my acceptance is only 30%. So when you submit for 5 journals, 1 journal you will accept. That is what the trend. Next slide, please. And finally, we could see the perception from the editor. The editor will check. So as an editor, I have handled more than 600 papers. What I will initially check is, I will check whether the paper contains plagiarism, whether the paper is in the scope of the journal, whether I prefer for open access or subscription mode. Open access means I will pay for the journal. Subscription means I will not pay for the journal. I will wait for the subscription, and I will check what is the publication pending with the previous volume, so that my acceptance will be normally it will be reduced. I will check for the formatting and length of the paper and references, and I will check the complete methodology of the paper, introduction, literature review, methodologies, experimental setup, all these things I will be checking it here. And then I will check for the keywords, and I will check for the reviewers, and I will check whether the authors are blacklisted. If the authors are blacklisted, I will reject the paper and then I will send it out. Okay, next slide, please. So myself, next slide, previous slide, please. Previous. Yes, myself here, this you can able to find. So I was been recognized as top 2% scientist ranked by Stanford University. You can able to see my name here, 175990. So I was been there in the top 2%. I have nearly 200 papers I have published in several journals. Next slide. If you have any queries, you can ask me. So I have given my short profile here. I was been recognized as top 2% scientist, and I am graduated from NIT Trichy, and I am from completed doctoral program from Anna University. I have received across 1.3 crores from several funding agencies, and I have 26 years of experience in research and administration. So more than 116 papers were being published, with 2 patents to me as granted. And apart from that, 9 scholars I have completed, and presently I am guiding 2 scholars. And I have visited to several countries to deliver keynote address. And my areas are purely machining, manufacturing, optimization. And my number is available with Dr. Jai Sribadi. If anyone needs any help in publishing a paper, you can please contact me directly. I will help you. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Any-
So,
yeah.
faculties, if you have any queries, you can ask, sir. We have 2 more minutes. So, I will give you 2 minutes. And if you have any doubts regarding the research and how to publish the paper, so regarding that, if you have any doubts, now you can ask any questions. Faculties can ask any questions. So, faculties, we want to we want to submit your paper to Focus Journal, Focus Industry Journal. If you don't know how to publish a paper, how to create a paper, how to write a paper, or if you have any doubts on the literature review, so if you have any doubts in regarding that, you can ask. So our Think Scholar Publishing is our Think Scholar Publishing is also we are doing all kind of research work. We are also supporting for your PhD guidance. And also we are supporting you in the areas of publishing the papers, the Scopus Industry Journal. So in future, you can approach me. I think you all have my number. You all have my mail IDs and everything. Um, so this was a very great success for me. So Mr. Arun Prasad, you want to ask some question? Sir is in live or
Sir, yes, sir. I'm here. Can you?
sir?
Am I
Sir?
audible? Yes, yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. So Arun Prasad wants. Yes, yes. It is audible. Arun Prasad wants to ask one question. That is how to write a review paper. What are the important parameters needed during it?
Sir, in the case of review paper, experimental parameters will not come inside. Just they have to collect what are the several findings. For example, they for their area, they can collect some 50 to 60 papers. They can summarize all the findings, and then they can say what is the future proposals they can have because of this research. In what kind of research they can able to do. Only this they can able to do it in research paper, in the review paper, not in an experimental research paper. In review paper, they can go for findings. That too, they should search with different years of publications. For example, 15 years or 10 years from different publishers they have to search. And output of the review paper will be generally, there may be some factors may be very common. For example, when you take how to measure a cutting force, several researchers would have said you there are some technologies to measure a cutting force. It may be common, so that may be given here. Some new the researchers, they may not know which technology they have to use, which tool they have to use, which software they have to use. So in your review paper, as a finding, you can say to measure this kind of sensor is to be used. Only this is to be used to get a better result. Like that, you can go for. Any more? Anything? Any other questions? Hello, Jai Shri sir. Hello. Me, I think there is a problem. There isn't any problem with technical issues, I think.
Srinivasan, sir. Is it audible, sir?
Yes, yes, it is audible.
So the faculties, if you have any more questions, you can ask finally before concluding the session. Srinivasan, sir, you can unmute microphone so that they can ask questions.
Yes, may it is able to unmute all of us.
Okay, fine. So it was a 6 days FTP. It was a successful 6 days FTP. So I thank everyone. I thank all the participants. I thank all the faculty members who have given me the support from all over the Tamil Nadu, from various colleges, from various engineering colleges. They have participated in this FTP. It was a wide support for me from this from our Think Scholar Publishing. This was the first FTP, so I'm very happy about this 6 days program. So I think this 6 days program will be very useful for everyone. Whoever wants to know something about the latest innovative pedagogy in the teaching, along with the AI, how to enhance yourself. It was I think this was a nice 6 days journey. So the resource persons also provided their complete knowledge. They shared their knowledge and everything from almost all these 6 days. And today, our Dr. Thirumalai sir has thrown his spotlights on about the research and about the how to present a paper, how to make because most of them have their questions in how to publish the paper, because wherever I visit many colleges, most of the faculties, they want to know about how to present their paper in the Scopus indexed journal. This was the big question for everyone because most of them were trying, but their papers were not selected. So I think today our Sir Tirmalai sir has given a nice, brief explanation about it. So fine. So regarding the certificates and everything, so we will be mailing. We will be mailing the certificates, e-certificates to everyone, and it will be based on the attendance. how you have attended these last 66 FTPs. We will be calculating your presence. Based on this, the certificates will be issued. And for any queries, you can mail me. I think my number is already with you. So if you have any doubts, or if your friends, if your faculty members, if your colleagues wants to do any PhD guidance, they need if any PhD guidance, they can also approach me. So thank you everyone. I thank my special thanks to Dr. Srinivasan sir, who is the host for the past 6 days, supporting us from the spotlight from Madurai. So thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Srinivasan sir. I thank all the faculty members, all the principals, coordinators, technical supports, everyone. I thank you all. Thank you, and good night.